push through and punch through a vision with passion, a vision with passion. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Purpose by Design podcast. I am Pamela Hinkle, and I'm so grateful that you have chosen to tune in today. You are going to be blessed and encouraged. We have two incredible fitness experts on the program today, and I am going to welcome them to the show here in just a moment. But I want to also highlight that ladies, now this is not just for ladies, but we have a couple of expert fitness women on the show today. So get out your pencil and paper, whoever you are, but especially you ladies out there, you're going to want to take note. Welcome, both of you ladies, Wanda Brown and Kathy Gebeke. We go back a while.
We do.
I will only say this about these lovely ladies. We go back for years, and we won't tell you how many years, but we were in yoga teacher training together. Both of these gals have been my fitness experts that I go to, and I still go to even in a pandemic world. And I'm so excited to have you two on the program today. So Wanda, you can do a much better job of introducing who you guys are, who you ladies are, excuse me, and what you do. So take it away. Tell our listeners about Wanda and Kathy and all that you do.
Oh, thanks, Pamela. Well, I'm Wanda Brown, and I grew up on a dairy farm outside of Lincoln, Nebraska, with my mom and dad and my three sisters, and a really great childhood. And a very physical working childhood as we all pitched in and helped with the farm. And when in 1996, when I got married to my husband now, and we have two children, we moved to Minnesota. And so that is where I started Sweat Equity Fitness. I was very excited about that, to start that business. And I facilitated at a corporation down in Minneapolis. They wanted me to run their fitness center with personal training and classes from kickbox to yoga to strength. I did that 15 years. And then I also on the side did a couple clubs that was near us in the area. And then bam, the pandemic happens and everybody's upside down. The world's upside down. I do have a nickname called Wacky Wanda, and I was wacky. I was cuckoo. I'm not kidding. Everybody, I think, went cuckoo, right? Until we were trying to find our way, what we were going to do. I had people reaching out, from clients to members and friends on social platforms and just like this. And what are we going to do? How are we going to stay feeling good and healthy? And so that is how we started with the virtual training online. And in the summertime, I had a couple clubs reach back out and say they were back open. Please come back, and would you come back and teach? And I did need to decline. My husband's been through cancer and a stroke in the last few years. And so it was a no-brainer for me that I just could not go back. And I had a lot of people saying, I can't go back either right now. I mean, they just didn't feel. Mm-hmm. And so through the summer, we were doing these virtual classes, and people were just really so appreciative. And I thought, I need help to offer more to these people.
Right.
So that's where my beautiful friend, one of my best friends, Kathy Gebeke, comes in. I called and I said, Kathy, do you want to do this with me? You would be so awesome. And she's such an awesome instructor. So Kathy, tell them a little bit about you, because that's how we drew in through this pandemic.
Thank you, Wanda. Yeah, I will. I actually first want to say, Pamela, thank you for this opportunity. First time ever on a podcast.
I know, me too.
Super exciting. And when the question came up about just give a little background about you, I thought kind of cool to do this because Wanda and I are transplants from another state. And so you kind of lose your family identity a little bit. So I'm just going to give you a rundown a little bit of my family from Cleveland, Ohio. That's where I was born and raised. And when you connecting this to fitness, my family, 6 kids born in under 7 years, roughly 6.5 years. God bless my mother, who is 90 years old today. And so she raised us. We were active. Brothers played football, all sports. Sisters did sports and cheerleading. We were all extremely active. So that's a kind of a cool part about my upbringing. And also want to mention that my dad was the sports cartoonist for the Cleveland Plain Dealer newspaper. So he was well known in Cleveland as Doodles Dugan, and has a legacy there. His stuff, he does have I'm going to plug a website, dickdugan.com. So he lives on in his work. And so I grew up in sports. My dad, every sport in Cleveland, he was the man in the paper doing the cartoons. So it was pretty amazing. So that's my fitness world growing up. And just to fast forward today, yes, I am married to Mike Gebeke, and we have 2 children, moved to Minnesota in 2002. So it's been, 19 years, crazy. I was telling the girls this morning that I started the second day I moved here teaching a kickboxing class at the local club. They needed someone, and I ran over and taught. So I didn't know a soul, don't even know my town, but that's how I started. And the blessing of that is how I met Wanda Brown. Can I say, Wanda, when I first met Wanda by phone, we talked quite a bit, and she was my confidant right away, just to kind of help me ease into the world, the club world. And my sister played basketball at Pitt, and I thought she had Wanda friend who was 6'2", big Wanda. So that's how I pictured Wanda. And when I met her, it was pretty funny. Wanda's mighty, but a little bit tinier. So anyway, fast forward to Wanda, all years and years of wonderful friendship. And then fast forward to pandemic, and Wanda once again bringing me into a serious family. She built an amazing virtual online experience that I am blown away by, and so grateful to Wanda and everybody. So that has been a part of this experience. It's pretty amazing. So that's the background.
That is amazing. And so you ladies are a couple of powerhouses. You know that, right? I mean, not just powerhouses because of maybe how much you can lift, but which I know is a lot. I have a memory that I just came up in my heart. Before I read the testimonials, I have to share this, but it's one that I remember vividly from yoga teacher training with you. One of the classes when we were together, and we got to the part we were taking a class, and I don't remember who was teaching it, doesn't matter, but we got to the part where you lay on another log, which means laying on another log had to do with how hot you made the fire within you burn, meaning how much you're going to sweat. And we were doing planks, and we were going to hold plank until everybody in the room came out of it at least once. And so if you came out of it, you went back in it. Now, I love yoga, but I am not at the level of strength as these fitness gurus. That's why they're running Equity Fitness, or Sweat Equity Fitness, and why I am attending it. There's a reason there. So I had fallen out a couple of different times and come back into holding my plank. And I'm wondering, we're still holding plank. It's almost 5 minutes. Who has not fallen out of plank? And I honestly, I'm thinking, could it be this? There was a couple of gentlemen in there, and I'm thinking it's them. But then I looked over and I saw you, Wanda, and you looked so poised and beautiful, and you had a smile on your face, and your head was kind of tipped up, and you were just in a zone. And I knew it was you that was holding it, and I was shaking. My arms were shaking. Every part of me was shaking, and I'm looking at you and I'm thinking, fall.
That must have been my little farm.
Out of that plank already. It's been 5 minutes. I can't hold it a second longer. And then somebody in the class, I don't remember who it was, said, Wanda. And then you kind of came back into the classroom mentally. And we're like, oh.
That's the little farm girl in me, right? That I used to be a little farm girl. And so it was like, all right, I got to stay here. I got to get this done. I got to do it.
Well, you pushed us all to the very edge in the plank that day. But I always remember that. And then the line that the instructor had is, if you can hold plank this long, you can do anything. And so there have been times when I have had to go through some stuff in life, and I will remember that line. If you can hold plank this long, you can do anything. But the next picture that pops up is Wanda, just poised and elegant and beautiful, when the rest of us are going, we need to be done. So I hope it's okay that I shared that.
Oh no, I remember that actually. That was fun.
That was so much fun. Well, you have sent me some incredible testimonials that I would like to read. I have 3 of them. Is it okay that I read them all? Because they're all your clients. And I know that each individual has a story with you. And so if we could highlight all 3, and then you could elaborate on them. I'll read one, and if you want to just elaborate a little bit on it, that would be great. And then I'll read the next one. So we have 3 of them. So here goes the first one. And this is from someone named Jim, and then it says E. Not Jimmy, Jim and the letter E for like their last name. I've had the pleasure of regularly attending Wanda's yoga and strength classes for many years. When COVID hit and in-person classes were canceled, it really left a big hole in my workouts as well as my social network. Fortunately, Wanda began to offer Sweat Equity Fitness virtual classes. The classes are awesome, and Wanda brings the same energy, effort, and fun she has with her in-person classes. They are really convenient since I can do these classes at home and can attend more classes. I can attend more classes than I could in the past. In addition to getting a great workout, I also get to see my friends and others from around the country and meet new friends. I can't adequately tell you how much these classes have meant to me, not just the physical workout, but also the social interaction. Don't know what I would have done in the past year without Wanda and her Sweat Equity Fitness classes. Warmest regards, Jim E. Wow.
I know, Jim. Actually, I have to thank Jim because he was one of the very first people to reach out and say, oh, what are we doing? And with his business, he was on a virtual platform, previous years, for years probably, and was like, Wanda, you can do this.
Yeah.
You can do it. And so I have to thank him personally because he was in the back of my class for many years, laughing, having fun, just with an awesome group so I say thanks to Jim.
Oh, that was a powerful testimony. Did you want to add anything, Kathy?
No, I love that testimony too. And Jim, I haven't seen him in recent years so much, but definitely way back in the day. I remember Jim in classes, and he's a stand-up person. And I'm so grateful that he's still doing this. And he looks, by the way, amazing. No different than he did 20 years ago or 18 years ago. Yeah, pretty neat.
Here is another one, and this one is from Sue W. After being a regular attending gym member by participating in the Sweat Equity Fitness virtual classes during and after the shutdown, I found myself in better shape in just 6 months than I had been in years. From Sue. So she's saying, I've been a regular gym attender, but now I'm participating in Sweat Equity and I'm in better shape than I was going to the gym. Wow.
Yes. Sue is, right, Kathy, she will come to sometimes 3 classes a day. Pop in and do what you want, do what you can. Maybe you can, that's one of the great things about it too is, I can only stay 20 minutes. That's fine, And Sue is another amazing person that has been a very big supporter of us, right, Kathy?
I consider Sue the ambassador of Sweat Equity
Yes.
virtual classes, because she welcomes people that come in new. She makes everybody feel like they're her best friend.
Yeah.
And the way even if she does 3 classes, she does them all 100% or
She
more.
does. She does.
Yeah, she's our we aspire to be Sue, actually.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We do. She's amazing.
Call her up, get her on the call
Yeah.
right now. All right, we have one more here, and this is from Cindy. While this November we are all giving thanks for planks, I am also giving thanks for you. When I started the virtual classes, I looked out my windows at green leaves. Then came the fall colors, and now just a few brown oak leaves. Your classes have helped me through this challenging time, both mentally and physically. You are so good at what you do, and we're able to adapt as needed. I am so thankful that you started teaching at the local gym, and now I am thankful that you are not teaching there. I appreciate the thought you put into the selection of music and themes. You set just the right mood, be it for yoga, dance, or strength. There are some good messages there too. I have more than once looked up the music to listen to it on my own after class. I also like all the energizing music that works in the class, and I end up singing later in the day or the next. It has been fun to be able to try various classes to see if I can do them. Each class goes by quickly. With all your classes you offer, maybe we will all come out of this in better shape than we started. Thank you, Wanda. Sincerely, Cindy. And P.S. I appreciate Kathy too. And I'm sure that the others do as well. P.P.S. That little bit of visiting before and after class is nice too.
Yeah, that one actually choked me up when I got it in the mail and read that. I was, because you kind of question sometimes not being physically in the room, like sure. And you know, we're huggers, Kathy and I. And it's you question if you are doing a good job and bringing motivation and to the people through the virtual classes. And so when I did get that in the mail, I actually, it was like, oh, wow.
That is beautiful.
I mean, it really was. I have to thank Cindy's a beautiful heart too.
Yes.
I was going to add on to that. I don't know Cindy quite as well as Wanda, but what I know of her, yes, such a, you know, again, wonderful, genuine soul, yes. And so awesome to see her doing yoga to crazy hit classes. So I've never known her that way. So it's nice to see her try everything.
And she hasn't done that in the past. And she said now she actually, just the other day, she had to drop out of strength classes at the club because she just, her shoulder and she just couldn't do it. But she said, I can do it here because I don't have to do it if I don't, you know, it's right. Okay. And you feel like you have options that, oh, I'm going to do this without a weight. That maybe if you were in a class itself, you felt a little bit more pressure that you needed to do what everybody else is doing. That felt good to hear that too.
Oh, absolutely. And if I can just tag into that with my own testimonial, when I found out that you ladies were doing this, I was so excited to jump in and get involved. And for me, I can do this anywhere. I don't have to try to, you know, multiply time or multiply myself. I can put this on, your class on in my living room is now set up as kind of a work area for me. And so it's no longer a living room. It's a work area. It's a workout area. It's an area for any crafting that I do, that kind of thing. So it's very spacious and it has a lot of room for me. So I can set up my camera or my iPad and turn on, as you know, and tune in, I should say, to your Zoom class. But then if I have something that's happened, like maybe I'm in the middle of making dinner, I haven't had to try to figure out how I'm going to do that and be at the gym at the same time. I can get up, I can go and open the oven. Okay, that looks good. Or make sure the noodles aren't boiling over or whatever. But I also have been able to pull in my kids.
I love that.
Which has been wonderful to be able to pull them in. And I also am someone that is very COVID cautious because I did go through COVID-19 and it was the sickest I'd ever been in my life. My whole family went through it. And you know, you don't know. There's all these different things out there. Can you get it again? Can't you get it again? And I have family members that are older. And for a while, my father-in-law, who's 91 years young, was here. And there was no way I was going to take that risk, right? Just no way that I was going to take it. And it has been a huge blessing to my life to put that in my schedule and then say, oh no, I'm 10 minutes late because I ended up in a Zoom meeting or a podcast recording that went late. And I don't have to feel like I have to tiptoe quietly in the classroom or the studio, or, oh, there's no place on the floor for me to put my mat.
Right.
There's always a place for my mat. Yeah. And I don't make any noise if I come in late. Yeah. And if I don't feel that I'm want to be seen, maybe I didn't comb my hair. Maybe I am in my jammies, right?
Wear socks. Look at my socks.
You
can't see this. I have my slipper socks on.
I love her slipper socks. You are the instructors, so I get it. You have to be seen. But for the rest of us, if we don't want to be, that is so nice to think I don't have to. I don't have to. Or if I have a lot going on in the house, I still don't have to, and I'm not a distraction to anybody else in your class. So I just want to come back and applaud you both for doing this, and Wanda for spearheading it, because you are helping a lot of people, ladies, and everything that we're hearing here. Yeah, they're in better shape physically. Don't know what I would have done without you and during this time. But these testimonies were also all talking about the mental and the social aspect, this need that we all have as humans that you're meeting. And in today's society, with people feeling ostracized or pushed aside or whatever, creating those platforms of love and unity is huge. And you're doing a great job of that. And I just, again, I applaud you. A round of applause.
Well, thank you.
You're doing a phenomenal job. So the next question that's on our list here is this. You both have been in the world, in the world and in the fitness world for a long time. You know your stuff. You're experts in the field. How did you get started? I mean, I understand you had athletic backgrounds or physical backgrounds being raised on a farm, Wanda, but when did you make that decision to be like, you know what, I am going to be, a fitness trainer. This is what I'm going to do. I know, Kathy, you said you showed up in Minnesota and 2 days later you're teaching a class. But how did you guys get there?
Well, mine truly was, my father died at a very young age, 52. We lost my dad, and it was with health issues. And I had just graduated from college in elementary education and human development. And I actually put myself through college singing in a band. Yeah, I know. It was so much fun. We all put ourselves through college playing in the band, kind of a top 40 band. And I loved the music, but I also loved, I was a runner, and I always played volleyball on a traveling volleyball team. I know I'm only 5'1", but I was quick and I could jump. But I always loved music, and I've loved just being physical, like moving, because you always would feel better. You always had more energy when you do that. And so I really wanted to do something into health and wellness, actually, because of my father. And that's really how it started. And I was looking for something with that. And I found Jazzercise. And I bought a franchise, and I facilitated a facility with 8 other partners. We had a blast teaching. We had 72 classes a month, and we had like, we would have 80 to 100 people in a class. It was crazy. Like, we'd had to be up on a stage that I only fell off a couple times, but that we just had so much fun with physical movement and music and dance. And I did that for 16 years until then I moved to Minnesota. And so that's kind of how what my decision was to move into the health and fitness world. What about you, Kathy?
Thank you, Wanda, which is so cool. I wish I could have taken Wanda's jazzercise, by the way. Would have loved that.
It was so fun.
But I love this story. I tell my classes this quite a bit. For me to get started, very honestly, my mom back in the 60s, I'll date myself here, from as far back as I can remember, she had leotards and a sheet on the living room floor. There were no mats at the time, I guess, but a body bar and resistance tubes. Paige Palmer was her girl, and she'd exercise. And we all would, the girls would at least join, the boys would tease, but that was my first exposure to exercise, and it was always that way. And the motto of one of her fitness mentors was, "Hey, smile, fitness is fun." So I still think of that line to this day.
It is
back like 50, 60 years. So that was a good line. So that's how I just had it in me. We grew up with that. And my mom was the first one to get us into a group fitness type of classes. I did graduate from Bowling Green State University in Ohio, and go Falcons. But long time ago, I was in sales, so blue suits, white shirt, and pumps for 13 years with Johnson & Johnson. Come on, vaccine. I'll stop the plugs. But so I was saying that my favorite thing about my job was after my job. I would go to group fitness classes, and I took some dance and did dance for quite a bit at my late age, but it was still fun. So yeah, so then that's basically my introduction to fitness. It was always there from a young age, and then once I got going taking classes, then I just got certified and started teaching. Oh boy, it's been 30 years of teaching now.
Wow. So together, you guys have, if you have 30 years of teaching, how many years of teaching, Wanda, do you have?
Oh, it's 30 plus.
Okay, so there are.
I don't want to say her age.
We are dating ourselves.
But this is powerful. Between the two of you, your clients are getting 60 plus years of expertise.
When I didn't even think of it that way. I love that.
Yeah.
60 plus years of being in the industry, of training. I mean, that says a lot. That says a lot. And across, decades. I mean, you guys have from jazzercise. Wanda, I used to do jazzercise with my grandmother. I remember doing that.
I love jazzercise. It was so fun.
She was an inspiration to me. And Kathy, watching your mom in her leotards. Oh, I remember leotards, right?
Oh my gosh.
Gosh, that's just amazing. Now think about the families like mine, who my children are watching me and joining me when I attend your classes. That speaks so loud to me, Kathy, that, okay, I might not be putting on a leotard. Thank goodness those days are behind us. But when I go and when I show up, my children are being impacted, that it's going to still impact them when they are 30, 40 and beyond, right?
Right.
Oh my gosh.
My mom will make apologies. Her mom was a big sewer, crocheted and all that, and cooked. I didn't really teach you how to crochet. But I say, you know what, Mom, the best gift in the world is fit movement, And she was doing handstands in the pool with Leah, my daughter, 8 years ago. She was 82 years old.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
You know, she back in her 80s still rode her bike around the, I mean, so I say that to me is,
yes,
you know, I'm okay with the crocheting. I probably wouldn't do it anyway.
I wouldn't do it.
But, yeah. So you're doing that with your kids, Pamela. That's instilling in them amazing things.
the importance of movement, move it or lose it, right?
Right.
So true. Well, that just struck me as you two were talking, that 60 plus years of knowledge and expertise comes through the two of you into Sweat Equity Fitness and available to every person who shows up. Wow. And then you could add in everything that you got from your mother too, Kathy, so you can add all of her expertise is added onto there. So then there's more years of expertise that comes through the two of you. So with all that expertise, what do you think the most challenging part right now is for staying healthy?
I would say the mental and physical aspect. Mentally feeling isolated, you know, with the pandemic and keeping that distance, which is hard, especially if you're a hugger like Kathy and I are. And it was hard, I think everyone just mentally, physically, the social distance. When we started the virtual classes, we even realized that, oh, this was a challenge because we were lucky enough, Kathy and I had, you know, dumbbells and weights and tubes and balls, but there was a lot of people that did not have, that was a challenge. And so we were like, okay, use soup cans. I had people lifting soup cans or water bottles. And then we used, for a small ball, a roll of toilet paper. And I mean, in the summer, that was a commodity that was a hot commodity. So it was like, be careful with your, you know, you could squeeze that, work your muscles. And so we just really kind of pulled together and we thought, okay, what can we do to work our bodies? And you can do a lot without equipment, movement and breath. And so I think that's what I found the challenging part of it.
Yes.
To piggyback onto Wanda, because I came aboard Wanda's Sweat Equity online classes in October. So from March to October, really, or September was our training. You're training me technologically. But it really was a nice, beautiful summer, so helpful to be outdoors. There were people in it that helped tremendously. I think everybody, that you could at least see people walking even, and I try to jog. And so outdoors was amazing. I wasn't part of the virtual training quite as much, a little bit, but not much. As it gets darker and colder, this is the biggest blessing of all. And yes, the challenges, I think one of the biggest challenges is connecting. I'm trying so hard to get friends of mine, old members, to join in. Yeah. And they are timid for whatever reason it is. Times I know there's this virtual classes evolves. It's constantly evolving, times and types of classes, and there's definitely something for everybody. It's just hooking somebody. Once you're on, you're on. You love it. So that I think is one of the biggest challenges. Now that it's the time to do it, because we can't be outside as much, please, give it a try.
Yes, it's another option. And I would agree with you. And during this time where everybody's been shut in and shut out, it's been really easy to, I don't know, you could either say be best friends or worst enemies with your refrigerator, right? It can be a challenge. And then if you are not, especially once the weather turned in Minnesota, getting out and walking or doing something to show for some exercise, it's so easy to pack on the pounds, even if it's just 2, 3, or 4, right? It's so easy to pack them on. And then if anybody's like me at all, I then start to beat myself up about that, right? And then you feel even worse, so you eat something else.
Yeah, you do actually.
Don't you? And it becomes this cycle that you need to get out of. And so having Sweat Equity being available to come in and be that breath of fresh air, or whatever you want to call it, to me has been help me beat the battle of the bulge. And all, not just beating it because I'm exercising, but actually encouraging me, getting me in the right state of mind, the right headspace, that I don't say yes to that refrigerator as often as I should, you know, because when you're going to set up that exercise goal and that fitness goal and schedule things in, then maybe I'm just the only one out there, but I want it to make a difference. And if I'm, you know, being silly here, but if I'm just going to sit and eat a box of Twinkies all day long, then I don't see the point in maybe going and taking that 45-50-minute class. So to me, it's helped me focus on me physically, what I physically need. So I would so agree with what you two ladies are saying, is getting that headspace right so that we take better care of our bodies. And you ladies do such a good job of teaching us how to do that, because you have 60 plus years experience. 60 plus years. All right. Well, tagging on to that, everything has changed. Depending upon where you are in the nation or in the world, gyms may be open, they may be closed. They may be open, but lots of restrictions. You may have to run on the treadmill with a mask on. You know, you just don't know what the restrictions are. And many people have chosen not to return back to a gym membership. I'm one of them. We've chosen
I'm one of them.
that. And what are your recommendations to people like myself and others to navigate through this time?
Well, I actually feel like you should try out our virtual classes. Now, Pamela is, but how about you all?
Yes.
All you have to do is on our Facebook or our website, come on the website and send us a message, and we can send you links to come into the class and just try it out. You know, all you got to do is click and voila, you're in. And then, like we said, if you don't want to show yourself, if you want to have you have a bad hair going, or if you got some slippers on like this, it doesn't matter. Or if you're barefooted, we have one instructor that teaches barefoot actually. And Chelsea actually feels better. Her feet feel better. She goes, I wish I could have done this at the gym, but you know, people would have looked down on that because you don't have tennis shoes on, but her feet feel better to do that. So come and just try us out. You're welcome to just come and try it. Right, Kathy?
I'm on board 1,000%. And I think the coolest thing about what Wanda's saying too with the virtual classes is and what Pamela is saying, you become, I don't want to use the word habit, but it's very similar to having classes at a club. It's that much easier because you're not getting in your car, like you're cooking while you're doing your classes if you need to. It's that much better actually. And there is intimacy. Yes, it's a certain time and a place to be. A lot of people maybe like, you know, not having that. They want to just do classes when they can. But that's the beauty of this. You get to know people. You see people. You're sharing your lives. It's the club online for all the club people. And if you're not a club person, it's, you know, you become one easier, you know, than being at a club. So it's a coolest thing ever. Coolest thing ever.
And we have 56 classes offered through the month, almost 56. So that's almost a little over 13 classes a week that you can choose from. Wow. We really try to bring the variety and age. We are so tickled by our youngest member that we've had on that we know of. Maybe there's been some that haven't been on camera, but 9 comes with her mother to dance class. And there they are. It is the cutest, honestly, the cutest thing. And then her other daughter comes to yoga with her. We have a couple husband and wives that come to class together. But our oldest participant is 83.
Lovely. Lovely. So you can bridge across generations, scale it for individuals, and they can do it from the comfort and safety of home, which is huge, huge. 13 classes a week. Okay, that's like 7 days in a week. So pretty much that would be 2 classes a day would be available to you if you wanted to do it, except maybe one day you did 1 class. But think about that. There's a lot of classes available every single day, and you can pick and choose, and you make it really easy. You send the email and the link's right there. So once you're signed up, folks, it's not complicated. It's really, really simple to, you don't have to navigate the internet. You don't have, it comes to you. You just click. I heard somebody say we are in the click and order time of life. That's where it is. Click and order. So all you have to do is get an email and click. I mean, it just couldn't be any easier than that. I love it. From a health and fitness perspective, since the name of what I do is Purpose by Design, right? It's the name of the podcast. From your perspective through fitness, what does Purpose by Design mean to you?
I think it means deciding on something that is important to you, right? And taking steps to achieve it. Investing time, investing energy, because really we all want the same thing. We want to feel good. We want to feel healthy.
Yes.
And I do feel your Purpose by Design is that you look to see how you can make your life better for you, so that you are strong, so that you can give to others. Yes. And make their lives feel better.
Yeah.
Wanda, so well spoken. I ditto all of that, and just that the sense of, finding maybe it's new, maybe it's always been there, a passion for fitness, a passion for movement, because there's so much variety of movement in all these classes, and that word commitment. And then I love that not only on your mat, but off your mat, you bring that beautiful energy and happiness, seriously, contentment, wellness, nourished to the world, which we all need.
Oh,
so that's a beautiful thing.
When you're talking about that, I'm thinking of, I love the word, Kathy, that you used when you said passion. And it makes me think of, well, honestly, can you believe this? We are having a discussion via Zoom, going on a podcast about being passionate about exercise, health, and fitness in a pandemic. When gyms are closed, look at how our world has evolved and changed, and how you two have taken the bull by the horns, or taken the reins, and said, we are going to charge forward, and we're going to lead passionately, purposefully in this time, because our bodies need to be able to handle whatever we're doing, right? My body needs to be able to handle being a mother of 6, needs to handle being a grandmother that can get on the floor and crawl around with her grandbaby toddler, needs to be able to handle what I do as far as public speaking and podcasts and whatever, right? So our bodies need to be able to carry us through this life. If you're still here in the world, you have a body, or you wouldn't be here, right?
Right.
During the pandemic, it could be that you lose all momentum, you lose your health, you lose all of that. But instead of us having that conversation today, we are having a conversation of hope, because you two, Wanda, you took the initiative. Kathy, you came alongside and said, we are going to make a difference. We are going to make a difference. We are going to help people be passionate about health, fitness, wholeness. In the middle of all of this, the gyms are closed, no big deal. They can click on their screen, and their screen is all they need. And they don't even need weights. They could use soup cans, pop bottles, whatever, toilet paper rolls. We're going to make it simple. But people are saying, from the testimonials I read off my phone, that it's the healthiest that they've ever been. And they are so mentally secure and stable because of the environment that you, and I know others out there as well, are creating. but this is huge. And I am so thankful that you guys were willing to come and just share a little bit of your story and be an encouragement to so many right now that are going, okay, how do I find Sweat Equity Fitness? What do I do? How do I find it? So why don't you, Wanda, tell them, how do they find you and plug in and sample your classes and get involved? Because it's one of the best things, listeners, that you could do.
Well, the best places are the website, Fitness by Sweat Equity. And the Facebook is Fitness by Sweat Equity also. And Pamela, you'll post that, right?
Yes, it'll be in the description. Absolutely.
If you're like me, I can't remember when I hear things, and then I can't write it down as fast enough. But truly, Sweat Equity is an investment for life. It's your life. It's your health. It's your wellness. That's all we want. All of us, we just want to feel good and live our lives feeling good.
Right. I love it. Kathy, is there anything you'd like to add on?
I'm blessed. I feel extremely blessed to have been brought into Wanda's virtual world, and that every single person that's a part of that, and Pamela, to share this with everybody. I'd love to see where it's going to go. It's been one of the best things. You're right. Pandemic, horrible, but this is what the shining star of the year. It's amazing, and everyone can experience that. And that's our hope and goal to experience.
Yes, it's a silver lining, isn't it?
Yes.
The light at the end of the tunnel. Well, I want to thank you, ladies, for being on the podcast today.
Thank you.
It has been, yes, I honor you as well. We're bowing to
I honor you too.
yes, we're all.
Our yoga training is coming out.
And acknowledging and honoring one another. Thank you, ladies, for coming on and shining your light and giving hope and encouragement with all of the experience this 60 plus years. We're just going to keep saying that now.
I love that.
That's all right. That's good.
That you bring to the mat, that you bring to the Zoom, that you bring to your clients. They love you and you invest in them. And as we close out here, listeners, these ladies might be my friends, but I'm telling you, you will not feel like a number. There's so many times when I went to gyms and I felt like a number. And the only time somebody seemed to know my name was if my credit card was declined, because it, and it was Pamela, other than that, they really didn't know my name, let alone much about me. And I would not have necessarily gone to any of those places and said, would you like to be on my podcast? But for here, I went to these gals because of their heart, because of what they do, and because of how they're serving. And you will be so glad that you came and checked them out. And you can do it from anywhere. So it doesn't matter what state or what country, or it might be kind of hard to do it in your car, but you could try. Just please not while driving.
Maybe not in the car. If you're in the back seat, you could.
Back seat, there you go. Park over. But you will be so glad you did. We're also highlighting powerhouse women right now on the podcast, which is another reason why I brought these ladies on. So check them out. How to reach out to them is in the description. Thank you, listeners, for being here today. I would have no reason to do this if you weren't here. I do it for you, and I appreciate you and love you so much. So as always, remember, continue to be the salt and the light everywhere you go. Talk to you later. Blessings. Bye.
Bye.